Live with that.
Approaching the midway point of the fourth quarter in Game 7. Winner moves on, loser goes home. Brown just traveled.
Yeah.
The Jaylen Brown trade will age like fine wine for the Boston Celtics. Jaylen can keep spreading his conspiracy theories that he's being silenced, which make no sense in relation to the trade, because how does trading you to Philly silence you? If you were being silenced, wouldn't they fine you or suspend you? They've done that to guys before. But anyway, people are also saying it's a private equity move by the Celtics' new ownership, but the reason Jaylen was traded is very simple. It's because he's not worth his price tag as a player. And some people will say, oh, well, it can't be about the money because Paul George makes the same amount of money with only 1 year left on the contract. But in reality, the commitment to Brown was actually for 3 more years than George, not 1, because Jaylen was eligible this summer for a 2-year extension that would have paid him $70 million annually until he's 35 years old. That would have been a hell contract for Boston. So it wasn't 2 years of PG versus 3 years of JB. It was actually 2 years of Paul George versus 5 years of Jaylen Brown. And think about it, if the Celtics didn't give Jaylen the extension, he would have requested a trade, if not demanded. And that would have tanked his value even lower than it already was. And the Celtics did not want to be stuck in that situation of paying Jaylen Brown $70 million until he's 35. And neither did pretty much any other team in the league. That's why there wasn't a better offer on the table than what the Sixers gave them. And now Philly will have a massive decision to make when Brown becomes extension eligible for them July 26th. And there's a lot of talk right now about money decisions being made by front offices rather than basketball decisions. But at the end of the day, basketball decisions are money decisions. I mean, the salary cap has always been a thing, but especially in today's NBA under the current CBA with the harsh apron rules, you simply cannot build a contending team which requires real depth around 2 players making 70% of your cap. When the Celtics won the championship, the Jays combined for 47% of the cap together, which allowed them to fill out the rest of the roster with Kristaps Porzingis, Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, good bench guys. But now, with the Jays making 70% of the cap, only one of those 3 stars remain. I mean, look at the best teams in the league right now. The Spurs, the Thunder, the Knicks, they're all deep teams, not just stars. And the Knicks got very fortunate that Jalen Brunson took a pay cut, because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to afford OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Cat, and all that depth. Alvarado, McBride, Robinson, Shamet, etc. And you just saw them lose Mitchell Robinson because of the extremity of the restrictions that come with being in the second apron. So that's why when Brad Stevens said in that awkward press conference the trade was a money decision and Bill Chisholm, the new owner, said it was a basketball decision, in truth, they weren't contradicting each other. It's also important to note that the salary cap isn't going up like many people assume. It's actually falling way short of projections, rising at a fraction of the expected rate. Point being, if Jaylen Brown were making $40 million, teams would be lining up for his services. He would probably command at least 4 first-round picks in return for a trade. But unfortunately, basketball decisions are money decisions in the NBA, at least now with the current CBA. That's just the truth, whether you like it or not. Now let me break down why Jaylen specifically wasn't worth 35% of the cap, but Tatum is. 2 things can be true. Jaylen Brown is a great player. I'd say top 15 in the league, and he's gotten better each year of his career. But he's also a flawed player. Let's just be real. First, on the defensive side. Yes, he's a stellar on-ball defender. He guarded Luka in the 2024 finals and did a really good job. Part of the reason, big reason, he won finals MVP. But if you really watch the Celtics, you know he can be lazy and unaware off ball. You can say I'm nitpicking, but remember, he plays for the most analytically driven team in the NBA, and it's now been 4 straight seasons the Celtics have been multiple points better defensively when he's off the court than when he's on. 4 straight seasons he's been in the bottom 26 percentile of defenders according to the on-off numbers, which are not perfect, but they are a tool to back up what we're watching. Even defense aside, overall, according to the net on-off, the Celtics for 4 straight seasons have been better with Jaylen Brown off the court than on. And while Jaylen's a top 15, I'd say, scorer in the NBA, there are levels to this number one thing. There's a huge difference between great and elite. The volume was awesome this past year. He averaged over 28 points, but volume means nothing without measuring efficiency. Jaylen had a 57% true shooting percentage this past season compared to guys like Shea, who were at 67%. And even past his scoring, which, let's just be real, it's not up to par with the very best in the league. He's not a top 5 scorer, not even top 10 probably in the NBA. But past the scoring, you need to be more than just a scorer to be a true offensive engine worth paying supermax money to. Remember, Cam Thomas averaged 24 points last year and 23 the year prior, and now he can't stay on a team. Context matters. You can't just score. You need to be able to be a great playmaker to make your teammates better. And Jaylen simply doesn't do that very well. Brown damn near commits a turnover for every assist he tallies. He has less dimensions to his offensive game when you compare him to true number ones worth 35% of the cap, like Shea, Jokic, even his own teammate Jayson Tatum. JB is not only a less efficient scorer than these guys, but most importantly, he's a worse playmaker than them. He doesn't get as many assists nearly, and he turns it over way more. Guys, this past season, Brown, with the highest usage rate in Celtics history, averaged 5.1 assists to 3.6 turnovers. That's not good. For context, Tatum got up to 6 assists last year with Jaylen playing, and Tatum has never averaged 3 turnovers in his career. For even more context, Brown led the league in turnovers this past season, right? Well, the Celtics, as a team, finished last in turnovers. You can't make this stuff up. There are levels to this number one thing. There's a reason they got bounced in the first round. Blew a 3-1 lead. Oh, by the way, that's his favorite season. And the dude has the audacity to play the victim and blame the media for getting mad at him for saying that. Like, really, man? That's your favorite season? Not the one where you won finals MVP and a championship, but the one where your partner in crime for the past decade missed 80% of the season, and most importantly, the one where you blew a 3-1 lead in the playoffs? That's your favorite season? And the NBA Illuminati is coming to get you because you're too smart? Dude, stop. Give me a break. So yes, the Celtics have new ownership. Yes, that ownership group has a history in private equity. Yes, they absolutely care about financial efficiency. I'll even go as far to say the NBA and the refs probably don't like Jaylen Brown because he's controversial and he says whatever he wants. And he's intelligent in a lot of ways. There. But how much clearer can I be? The current CBA limits spending drastically when trying to build a contending team. And Jaylen Brown is not a guy worth paying supermax number one money to, 35% of your cap to. Sorry, Jaylen, maybe work on your tunnel vision and improve your playmaking instead of insinuating conspiracy theories about yourself on Twitch. Again, when the Celtics won the championship in 2024, the Jays combined for 47% of the cap. But fast forward to 2026, a few extensions later, and that number was up to 70%. You can't build a deep contending roster around that. So now the Celtics have only one giant salary, a ton of optionality, and 2 more first-round picks. This trade will age like gold for Boston.